The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Good evening and welcome to LSRTV here live for you on YouTube and iRacing Live, of course, and welcome back to the playoffs. It is round 17 here, and it's our first round of our group of 6 tonight for the Superspeedway Cup playoff series. Rachel Whiteford and we have Austin Coop here tonight, and well, Austin, we have 6 drivers remaining. Chris Bassini, Seth Merchant, Brandon Cruz-Monsivais, Rodney Warford, Rod Flagg, and Michael Cozy Jr. in the running for this one. Those green window tapes, as you know, of course. And, well, 6 incredibly good drivers, and a lot of them still gunning for them and still wanting to beat them in races.
Yeah, we're really excited to see these last 3 races develop for these guys. Really, lots at stake for these next three races. It's really how these points are working, and really these guys are really close together. When you look at the point standings, we know with Chris Bassini and Seth the Merchant only being 1 point apart, with Cruz-Monsivais up there too, and then Michael Cozy, he's a few points behind these guys and 7 points, but a win and getting up there towards the front, that's going to change everything for these guys. And really, I was looking at these guys the last few weeks. The 3 drivers that I say, I could have picked from the very beginning of the season was Bassini, DeMerchant, and Wofford. The 3 drivers that I did not expect to be in this final 6 was Monsivais, Flagg, and Cozy Jr. These guys, I think, are going to be here to surprise everybody.
Oh, they certainly are, of course. And, well, we have our points. As previously mentioned, those driver names, it's Bassini leading the playoff standings right now. Second place, 1 point back. And third place, 1 point back, so they're technically dual second place. Seth the Merchant and Brandon Cruz-Monsivais, both 1 point off Chris Bassini there. Rodney Warford is 2 points back. Rod Flagg 5 and 7 for Michael Cozy Jr. This is how tight things are right now in terms of points. We are separated by 7 points for 6 drivers. That is incredibly close.
And everything can change. The more drivers, if you win or get in the top 5, the more drivers are out here, the better, because that means that your competition can fall farther down, and that's what you're kind of looking for. I think Brandon had said something earlier, like, can we get more drivers here just in case I do really well and everyone else maybe not so well. But I think something that's really important is just how you strategize your race, really, when it comes to just Speedway tracks. Like always, we do them every Friday. These guys always know what they're going to do beforehand, but right as they're doing qualifying right now, I think it's always a matter of what just happens when you get in the race. You can always say what you do before, but if you're Chris Bassini with that 1 point lead, it is nice, but at the same time, it's never really set in stone until we get to the last lap.
Certainly is not, of course, and well, it's going to be very, very interesting. Of course, strategy requires you to know exactly what the numbers are for your racing. And well, Joel Real Timing, the coverage of the LSRTV Superspeedway Cup Series here is brought to you by Joel Real Timing, and it's official timing software of LSRTV. Whether you spend your time on the sim behind the wheel, on the pit box, or from the spotter stand, JRT is the go-to software for iRacing timing and scoring analytics. Get yourself a basic download for free, or get the pro version today at joel-real-timing.com. Incredibly useful software there, of course, Austin, for getting yourselves all the data you want. Splits, pit times, lap times, everything is really, really useful.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of streamers that I've been noticing lately using Joel Timing, and I think it's really been helpful for them and helpful for anybody who uses iRacing regularly, as casually, or for those guys who are in pro. I know a couple of them use it as well, so that's going to really help for those guys, and we'll get set for our grid.
Certainly will do, of course, and we'll have a quick look at our starting grid for tonight. It's a smaller field actually today, 24 cars in total. Front row, pole position, Seth Merchant, one of your playoff drivers. Alongside him on the front row, another playoff driver, Rodney Warford, in second place. Row number 2, Ray Rittner in second, and Rod Flagg a playoff driver. Michael Cozy Jr. on the 3rd row with Mark Jorgensen Jr. 4th row, Chris Bassini and Glenn Hedrick. 5th row is Scott Warren and Gary Champion.
Right behind them in the 11th position is going to be Victor Barlett in the 42. Dan Harrington will start his number 82 at 12th. Travis Brown 13th. Brandon Cruz Montevais is going to start in the 14th position with Daniel Holloway 15th. Spencer Preet, he'll start 16th with Chris Patton 17th. Richard Reagan Jr. will start in the 18th position with Scott Fetcher-Marcher. He'll start in the 19th position with Mike Schultz, starting in the 20th position.
21st place today is Kyle Manja. He's one of the few that's not qualified, as well as Robbie Lyons, Rick E. War, and Mike Thiel rolling off in last place. So, of course, not ready to leave the grid just yet, but we will be any second now. And this race is set to be an exciting one tonight, as we are looking forward to a fantastic run here. As the Merchant keen to get going there, pulling away already on the racetrack as the pace car hadn't even gotten ready to leave. So he waits for him. As thanks for you all at home joining us tonight here live on LSRTV. Love to have you guys with us every single week. You guys make these broadcasts worthwhile. So we from LSRTV want to thank you guys at home watching. Putting out onto the banking in 1 and 2 here, and Austin. Tonight's race, we're looking at 90 laps, so it's going to be 45 laps, I believe, or 40 laps till we get to the 45 laps, sorry, to get to the first stage end. And with 90 laps total, it should be fairly quick, and especially if people are being careful, that could really shake things up here. But fuel limit, of course, we know it's about 23 laps, and it's going to be very interesting.
I think one of the things that
yes, old Daytona too. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah, that's definitely with the grayer surface. But I think Seth the Merchant's won two Superspeedway races this week in other leagues. He won one on Sunday in a CEA league that's not broadcast, and then he won one I think it was yesterday or the other day as well. So he's running on a lot of momentum, and he likes to be at the front. And so getting pole position is exactly what he needs. And Rodney Wofford and him had such a close battle with the qualifying by being only 1/1000th of a second apart from each other. So Seth the Merchant will lead these guys to the green flag.
Sunny will do, and this is going to be a tight race on this track, which is a little on the bumpier side, but looking forward to this one getting going here today, and it certainly will. Green flag will fly. We're racing here at Daytona.
We start on the outside and the inside equally. Heads up right here at the front of the field. Seth the Merchant's trying to just get a little bit of a push from Roy Rittenauer Jr. As always, when these guys get through turns 1 and 2, that outside line will fall through just a little bit. And with this older surface, we're going to really look a little bit at the fact that we're just going to see how these guys appropriately get on the outside of this track and make things work, as it's going to be a little bit rough and bumpy.
Certainly will do, and they are heading down the backstretch now. It's 2 by 2 for the top 10. Breakaway already there. Travis Brown leading that second group. He is all the way back in the 13th place. We've got quite a movement up front here, actually, as the drivers start to move their way forwards, but being patient at this time. The outside lane's held good ground, and we know this track, the middle lane there, that top lane of our grooves at the moment, that is the faster lane, or at least the smoother lane here. So we'll see a lot of two-wide racing here all night long. In fact, the low side actually struggles with how bumpy that bottom groove is, Austin.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing the effects of it right now, and these guys are not going to be wanting to push down so far, just because of the fact that the more these tires get worn down, the less that lower line is going to be able to stick to the very bottom of the track. And unsure of how the setup goes, and they have so many different setups that they put in these cars throughout the season. But that's why that outside line is staying so far away. But they have a lot of momentum, and they definitely will, just because of how bumpy that low side is. So you're going to see the number 7 push away or pull forward just by a little bit, get the lead a lap. And that's what we're going to be seeing all day, is that top lane kind of being a little bit of more of the preferred lane to be in here in the earlier stages of the run.
Certainly will do, of course. And a couple of laps in the books already. 2 laps down, and wow. It's going to be very, very intense here as they head now into turn 3. But what I'm really thinking about is how green does this race go? Of course, there's 6 guys who absolutely must win this, so... And these guys are typically in our top 10. Is that split of, shall we say, patience, with half the cars in the top grouping going cautious and half of them not? Is that really going to mean we have a cleaner race? Because they're going to be backing out of situations that might cause them trouble. They need to get points. They need to get results here. These are the final rounds we have. As actually, they completely throw it out the window. And here we go. Glenn Hedrick taking it 3 wide up there. At Daytona 07. That is brave running, sir. As he will shuffle back, making no gains here. But you got to think about it, though. This will be kind of a calming effect. Oil on the water, if you will, for the front of your pack. We might see a fairly green race. These guys have to be ready for green flag stops.
And Glenn Hendrick will kind of go to the back of that big pack up here. Looks like that's the top 10 here in the first group, and then everyone else behind. And realistically, what typically happens is you get so much momentum, you don't know what to do with it, and that's what Mark Jorgensen Jr. is doing. He has a lot of momentum right now, and I think Glenn Hendrick had so much momentum he wanted to see what he could do on the outside just to see where it would go. No one went out with him. He just kind of fell back nice and cleanly. Earlier on, I don't think it's a big deal, but later on with worn tires and worn racetrack, I think we will see that happen, but it won't be... I think it can work. You just have to really make sure you hold that wheel in the car as closely between your competition and the wall as possible. And if you're in the middle, you just have to hope, really, I think, if you're in the middle of that. But here's what we're seeing. 3 wide right here. The 88 throws the 10 out to dry, and that's Rod Flag. He's in the championship hunt. And he actually slid up the track, so his tire's already a little bit worn. He slid up the track. He's going to lose all those positions and fall back to 10th place right here and right in front of him.
Luckily, no damage though for Rod Flag. He keeps that car in one piece, slid up to the wall, but didn't quite hit it. So lucky for him there, as Jorgensen Jr. working now on Wofford at the front as they try and get this outside line moving once again. They drop back a little bit, but can they regain that ground? To the Merchant feeling comfortable up at front, and Ray Rentner second in the second spot there behind him. The race is going almost to plan, cautious acceleration, and one other thing we talk about is that Daytona 07 tends to be the cleaner track. We think it's bumpier, they're going to race harder, they're going to get into each other and cause crashes. We tend to actually have cleaner races here because you have to focus so hard on driving the race car, you can't really make silly moves.
Yeah, we're seeing it passing outside by the 82 in the second pack, but we're also seeing it pass the front. Looks like the number 7 got the lead that time by, so he'll lead another one. Look at the 88 of Jorgensen Jr. He's trying to get as much as he can right here and get as many positions. It's not as big of a deal for him as he's not in this top 6, but hey, he wants to make something happen of it. And so he's going high up the track. We're going to go a little more momentum right there. He's not going to quite get it, but he does have the 42 behind him. That's going to be Victor Bartlett, I should say. He's going to give him a tiny bit of a push. It's right on his bumper right before the corner. Lets off. Gives him a little bit of a push, but looks like that 88 is going up the track just a little bit. Maybe to get some more momentum. I'm not sure what he's doing, but it looks like he's working out quite a bit.
It is. He does it a lot. You'll find Jorgensen Jr. uses every inch of racetrack he can possibly get hold of in these races, and it's working to great effect here as he pushes Wofford clear there of the Merchant. Can he clear him? And will Wofford stay up with him? We'll find out. Behind them, Victor Bartlett in that line. Hedrick and the 82 machine of Dan Harrington. Some good motors behind him there, but Flag still staying back on the low side. I think he might be a little bit cautious at the moment. Otherwise, we have our top 5, I believe. Top 4 of the 6 drivers in your playoffs in this grouping. First 2, Wofford and the Merchant are playoff drivers, of course. Also got Cozy Jr. back there in 6th place in that 77 Black Machine. Flag in the 10 is back here in about 12th place, and Grant Vice just ahead of him on the low side there. There's your other playoff drivers. That's your top 6 and where they're running right now. And it's a bit of an interesting split. You've got that 2 in the second grouping there, possibly hoping to avoid something when it does happen, if it in fact does. But we're approaching now, in a lap or two's time, halfway in this fuel run, and things have looked tame. Cars making some interesting moves there.
I saw the 80 or the 54 of Monts of Ice make a lot of moves earlier on in the outside lane with the 82, and right now it's just really hard to pass once you catch them. And right now, I guess what you could say is it's getting they're getting stonewalled right now. They can't make passes to the outside because they don't want to go 3 wide. No one goes with them, and also the dangers of just hitting the outside walls there as well. And so Rod Flag and Monts of Ice side by side. So everyone inside the top 12 is, or all 6 of our drivers are in the top 12. So half of these drivers are, half of these drivers aren't, but It's really kind of a waiting game. I think it really has to do with those drivers at the front of what happens to these guys behind them. If Rodney Wofford gets clear of Seth DeMerchant, that's going to open the floodgates, I'd say, for that outside lane or the inside lane. Just kind of depends on who's there and who pushes harder.
Sunny Will, and right now it's a bit of a stale tug of war up at the front as the two lines stay pretty consistent. In fact, I'd say we have around our top maybe 15 in this front group here, back to the 01 of Brown. So, and it's actually our top 17 cars in your lead pack, and well, the rest of your field is not far behind. Bobby Lyons has lost the draft, he's all the way back on his own. Mike Field also on his own. That seems to happen every week. I'm not sure why. I think Mike Field's car has maybe a 4-cylinder engine or something, because his car is always at the back. He always loses the draft, and he's got no damage, so I'm not entirely sure what's happened to that 61 car. We always see him chugging around on his own. Ricky Wall has just dropped off the back of the main pack, and that is one issue, of course. Staying on the back of these packs is so much harder now with the way the draft has changed over the last year or so, as it looks a little bit hectic at the front. Actually, go back to the front of your field, and Wofford making another charge again there with DeMerchant pushing him. No, sorry, Jorgensen Jr. pushing him. I do apologise, but of course they do have that little bit less grip at the back of the field. It's harder to hang on to the back of the pack with your last car in line, that caboose roll, if you will. So much harder to hold on that you do see cars periodically just drop off the back of your field as the race goes on.
It is a little bit easier at this track in particular, though. You do have that draft package, and I think at Talladega and Daytona, you're going to lose it much faster. But here, they can at least manage to hold on a little bit longer than they would have, just because of how rough and how much, just the fact that they're going to go a little bit slower. But they're still reaching around 200 miles an hour before they get to turns 3 and 4 here, which is still extremely fast, and so they will pull away from those guys fairly quickly. But right now, like you said, it just seems tame. Something will happen, and I think it might happen with one of the drivers in the top 4 right there. I'm looking at Ray Rittenauer Jr. He's getting his left sides on that yellow line right there, and it has looked only a couple times to get out of his control, but I think Rodney Wofford might actually have the... Oh, not quite. He was really close to getting just in front of Seth DeMerchant before turn 1. Decided to lay off just a little bit, but that was really close. He was almost able to get clear of the 57, but now back on the outside is another big push from those 3.
There is indeed, and it's not really going to be making much progress yet, but they're holding up there in the outside lane. And like I mentioned, it's a bit of an advantage there, so it neutralizes out, so we have the 2 lanes really holding static in terms of their abilities. But it still takes a big push though in that middle lane. Gotta go that little further distance around the track, and well, they're just fluttering around the side of DeMerchant, not quite in line with him though. Consider for quite some time.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing DeMerchant go a little high, and the tri-oval makes it so that the 7 has to travel a longer distance. But this is one of the bigger leads we've seen him having to turn number 2 right here. So with the 88 being right cooped up to his back bumper, this might be a really big push for the 7. Exactly what he needs, a little bit of side drive from the 88. You see him do it a couple times right there, trying to get him a big push. And it might get him clear before the corner, but it's not going to happen quite yet. It looks like he might be just satisfied on the outside as well. I think there's a little bit of drive to go as fast as you can, of course, but I don't see it. But look at the 88 come back to the 42, and definitely kind of curious of what's going on with these front 6 right here. But right now we're seeing the 88 go back up to the 7, back to the 42, trying to, I think, just get as much speed from getting bumped from both sides and giving the 7 what he gets from the 42. But the 42 doesn't have any help from the 21. Glenn Hendrick's kind of been just kind of playing it safe, I think.
Yeah, they are indeed playing it very safe right now. As approaching at the 3/4 mark now in our first fuel run. Time is flying by so quickly tonight as this one is progressing very, very nicely. But as things go, it is certainly looking like a close race at the sharp end. No clear real advantages to any of these drivers yet so far. Munster Vice and Flag working their way back up into that top 10 at the moment. So many cars as they're going to go past 72 against the wall. Oh, car in the wall. And I believe that was the 72 car. Spencer Preet, yeah, Spencer Preet up there in the wall. He must have just gone down a lap. Oh no, he's there at the back. Last car down, 1 lap down. Not a good day for Spencer Preet. That car very, very heavily damaged now after sliding into the wall. A big push in the front as Wofford gets clear of DeMerchant. Will he pull down finally? Well, he's not. He's staying here with the 88. Doesn't really want to be on that low side. He's completely clear on both sides, but chooses to stay high. Seems to be comfortable right now. Oh, contact!
Oh, I saw that coming. I saw him going up the track just a little bit too much. And yes, I think what's going on right here is, oh, there he goes. And what I was about to say doesn't matter, but the 57 and the 88 hit again, just barely. And this is going to change everything right here as the 57 gets a good run. He's now clear of the 88. Does he decide to take advantage of it, go to the outside and get a bump from the 88? Not right now, but the 88 has a big run on the outside by himself. Surprised the 57 didn't go there, but at the same time, maybe he just wants to stay behind the 7. I'm not sure, but Jorgensen Jr., I think, wants to kind of spoil the party and get a win here.
Of course he does. Jorgensen Jr. always wants to spoil the party and get a win. That's exactly his speed. Right now, he's now only got Victor Bartlett to help push him forwards on the outside lane there, as Cozy Jr. is now behind that, and a little bit further back, the 82 of Harrington and the 10 of Flag have to start catching up here, but the outside line has really collapsed in terms of what it was. When they got Watford up there, it was a full lane. Now it's 2 cars and 3 a little further back, and that's it compared to the powerhouse train on the low side.
And like you said, it's just kind of dispersed his front little group here. Really the top 5's kind of there with Glenn Hendrick, and then looks like these guys, Chris Bassini, Scott Warren and company behind, they will catch these guys once again. I think it's just a little bit of slinky effect we're seeing. These guys are kind of expanding out. They'll come back together. I think the one driver it's really starting to benefit is the number 54 of Brandon Cruz Monsivice, who started 14th. He's one of our biggest movers right now. He's come up a few positions, and it's not really that easy to pass when they're going double file in front of you, but when they're going single file like they are right now, that's whenever you're going to be able to do it. But battle for the lead's going to come out. Looks like the 57 goes to the top side. He'll get a push from the 88 here in the middle of the corner. And I think the 57 is going to be challenged on the outside here.
I think he is, but 7 there, De Merchant is going to have to hook well here with the 88, but will the 88 want to go with him? This all depends as well on where the loyalties are. Written out the second, gets low there, got himself on the apron in the corner. But this depends. We need to find out where the loyalties of the 88 lie, because whilst he wants to win the race himself, who does he favour more? De Merchant, Watford, Flag, Monsivice, Cozy Jr. Maybe he favours Cozy Jr. because he's also called Junior. Who knows?
Right, and I'm seeing the 88 get really close to that left rear, the 57. I know they had hit each other earlier on.
He's also pushing.
Right, he's also hitting him in the corners too, which is something you definitely want to do here unless you're being very careful, which does appear that he is at least being careful, but he gives the A57 a huge push in the corner. That's what's going to get him clear right here. He's at least 1, maybe 2 car lengths clear. He can kind of do what he wants here, and he's going to go straight to the bottom. Looks like he kind of hesitated a slight moment or just kind of got down there slowly. There's the latter of the two, but gets there, now has the lead back.
Does indeed, as another car goes past him to 49. That was Robbie Lyons. Jorgensen Jr. no help on the outside now. He's on his own as De Merchant got in front and just dropped away.
Oh, contact right there. 87 and 88 had a little bit of contact right there.
87 has been a little wobbly recently, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. But we're actually approaching the pit. Now I see where everyone's dropping down onto the low line. It's not to do with them keeping up speed. We've got a pit stop coming up in a lap or two. Everyone's trying to fight to get down there, so they have a chance to actually get to pit road here. That would explain a lot. Something I actually should have said already, but as Jorgensen Jr. also drops down, we're preparing for pit stops.
Hedrick let him down right there, and yes, exactly what you said. Pit stops are happening right now, and look at the 21. He's gaining a lot of speed with these guys, and sliding through is going to be the 7 of Rodney Wofford. Not sure if he made
that 42, though, huge advantage to him in the getting onto pit road. Wow. Victor Bartlett, but he's alongside the 7 who'll have to come in ahead of him, so he has to slow down to get into his box. But he gets in. Wow. Bartlett with a good run there.
Hendrick went through his box.
Very much through his box, all the way into the 1's box of Bassini.
That's not going to be good for him, but the 42...
Left side tires only, but that looks like, I believe, Bartlett will come off 2nd place. That's a good one for him. He's moved up to this group now and holding on strong, and now we've had pit stops. These guys are really going to have a very easy time of it once we get to the next run. There's more chance of staying green because this next lot of cars come down, including 57, 87, Monsivice. Oh, problems!
Oh, no!
Big problems on pit road for the vast majority of that group there. as we'll get a replay of what just happened. That was carnage, as down they come onto pit road. A late decision by the 76 with Scott Warren, who comes down, gets tagged by the 71 of Chris Patton, who yoinks him across the line, hits the 87 of Rittenauer, smashes Monsivice, who nearly hits De Merchant. De Merchant dodged everything there, and not much time lost for Monsivice, but a torn-up race car, meaning he'll have to go to a backup here. That was just batty. I can't think of a better word for this. That was nuts.
And the bad thing for Monsivice is that he will have to use his quick repair. The good thing about it is that he was able to spin that car right around. It was a good job on his part to get that car wheeled around, and looks like he's actually going to keep that car the way it is. He's not going to repair it. So I think that the reason why is because he knows he'll be slower anyways, and he'll use the quick repair at maybe the stage, which is lap 45. So we will have a caution at lap 45. He just needs to hold on till then, and maybe he'll use his quick repair then, just in case another caution comes up. He's not fast right now.
No, absolutely not. But he's right. He's left without fixing that damage. That will cost him a huge amount of time, actually. But I think he wants to try and save it, but not sure what he's saving it for, because he loses so much advantage. It's Rodney Wofford now up front with Mark Jorgensen Jr., Victor Bartlett, and Piscini with that group. They are in a good position here, and like we said, you know, once this is actually running green flag stops, the chance of the next set of green flag stops coming up is much, much higher. Unfortunately, we do have, as you mentioned, that stop coming up, 45 lap run, which means we will have to actually pit twice before that happens. Once will be a splash and dash, or you fuel up fully and don't pit during the stage, but it's going to be 2 stops to go, and we know we will have a caution on 45, so that means we do a bunch of field up and we could have problems then, but I think our chances of getting to lap 45 without a caution have just shot up exponentially.
Oh yeah, and I'll have to say, when watching that replay the couple times that we did, I'll say that Seth the Merchant was super lucky not to get hit and not to get a penalty, because if you leave pit road, regardless of whether you meant to or not, you're going to get a penalty, and that could have really ruined his race.
Well, if you think about it, it was actually the not the 71's fault directly, Chris Patton. It was the car's a little bit. Well, actually, no, it was 71. Sorry, because he was the one that dropped down off the racetrack,
right? Which
kind of caused the whole thing. As no, not a 71. I'm looking at the wrong person. I think it was probably Lyons, the 49 car. No, I'm wrong again. It was somebody else. Either way, it was the other car that came down off the racetrack, which was the issue there, because he did come down slower than the car who was already braking, so he dropped into the back of the pack of braking cars, and that's hard for anyone to gauge.
Yeah, basically somebody hit somebody into somebody, and it's a big mess.
It was Scott Warren, actually, 76 car. Scott Warren that dropped down super late. So yeah, Scott Warren. We found out eventually, which is a great thing.
Right, but the guys who are really kind of glad that happened in the top 4, Rodney Wofford, Jorgensen Jr., Bartlett, and Chris Piscini. Only 2 of those guys are in that championship hunt in this top 4, and they're pulling away. They're 5 seconds ahead of their competition, which is Seth the Merchant, who is trying to get around, looks like maybe a lap car, or use a lap car right here. It's Mike Thiel right here. He's going to try and use him to help him get up to this front group, because there's only 3 of them now. There's 4 of them with the lap car, and so they're going to, I think the 46 was trying to pass right there, but he's going to probably come back, make a line, and really what these guys need to do is do better at drafting than the guys in front of them. Now, 5 seconds is a long time to do better, or is a long distance to try and do better, but they'll try.
Certainly will try, and while the racing is going to get interesting, of course, we do expect this one to go green unless we see a small issue, but if it does go green, that's 2 pit stops. If everyone takes full fuel, they can actually stay out on the caution on 45. If they only take a splash, they could be quicker, they could gain spots, but do you then have to pit under the caution? And, well, that's going to really change things up. Or do we see people just come in both times? Who knows? I think most people will splash, actually, because of the nature of the length of time. It's like 3 or 4 laps, so just take some fuel, don't take any tyres. Bang on coming in on the actual lap 45 stage end, so would make the biggest advantage, I think.
Yeah, they've got a 6-second advantage up here in this front group, and I think Ricky Wall was just lapped that time, so the number 2 will go 1 lap down, and he'll go to the clutches of the second group, and if Demerchant does what he did the last time with the lap car of Mike Thiel, he'll do the same thing with Ricky Wall, and then they'll have 5 drivers to their 4. It's going to be a little bit of a long stretch. They've got 20 laps to kind of do it, and it's going to be, you know, by the time they catch him, start using him, and start gaining him, it's going to be probably the stage end. But I think it would really help for them to get to the stage with at least trying to use that 5th car. We'll just have to see if they actually use them, but really unsure of how that's going to work out for them, as everything's just completely blown up in a different way.
Certainly has. As well, out front it's Wofford, Jorgensen Jr., Bartlett and Piscini, that 4-car breakaway. Demerchant leading the next group there, in fact not, 61's ahead of them, that's a lap car. It's Mike Thiel leading that group with Demerchant, Holloway, Reagan Jr. at the back. Then we have Travis Brown along with Cozy Jr., Manger and Hedrick in a group there. Harrington, Schultz and Champion with Rod Flagg. Written out a second all the way back as the 27 blows his motor. That was Scott Fenstermacher. That's probably how I pronounce his name. I do apologise, Scott, but he's blown his motor. He's pulling down the pit road now, so no caution for that. On we trundle in the fairly green race, lap 30 now.
Yeah, and to really give a picture of where your championship drivers from the rear of the field to the front. Nolan is the last driver out there. He's in the 19th position, and you have to go to 15th. That's almost half the track in front of him. In 10th or in 15th, which is Rod Flagg. So he's still, I think he did the long strategy. So him and Pontiac out there still trudging along. No damage on his car, but running around with Gary Champion. And then you've got everyone else kind of in the front, except for Michael Cozy Jr., who's sitting in 9th place.
Certainly are, of course. And in this position, we have the race really opening up now. As they get past Montevice, who's lost traction, of course, his lap down now because of his loss of speed with the damage he's sustained. Going past Spencer Pre there in 72, going 2 laps down now at this point. The race is kind of getting quiet. I think it's nice and stable, actually. And this is what we say, you know, once you get a green flag in, you get into these 3, 4, 5 car packs. And everyone's running single file, not enough or need to really race each other. And we see this breakaway. I mean, we've got 6 seconds from the first group and the second, another 7 between them and the next group, and then another 5, then another 8. Then it's everything broken up by about 6 to 7 seconds.
Yeah, I think this is what we call the calm before the storm, which I think we'll definitely get to the caution well before it as well. But definitely this is that point in the race when you're thinking, you know what, let's just get to the end of the stage. Let's make the advantage that we can, or get as many points as we can at the end of this stage. I think that's what Rodney Wofford and Chris Piscini are going to probably be able to do. But those guys in that second group, they want some more help, and they're not going to really get it if they're trying and go with Once of Ice right here. They're going to go on the outside of him right here in turn number 1, and go by with ease, might I add. He's going to try and latch onto them, but he's just not going to be able to with as slow as his car is. Still going 180, but that's slow compared to these other guys. It's 195. That's 15 miles an hour faster. That's typically what you see people going on the left side of you on the highway, going much faster than you.
Very much so, as they get going to do what they can here, and on to lap number 34, this time across the stripe here. And we will have 11 laps remaining in this race. 11 laps. We'll have to see them coming in another about... Wow, they stopped on about 21, so we'll see them on about 41 or 42. I'm not sure they could stretch all the way.
They're going to have to really... like, if you're at the front of the group, I don't know what you have planned, but if you're behind them, you can let off. You don't have to go full throttle, you know, that kind of stuff that these guys are really used to. But if you're a guy like Montevice, if you're a guy like Rod Flagg, and you don't really have that much help, you don't really have somebody to really do that a lot for you, I don't know how you're going to make to the end. I think Rod Flagg did go an extra lap, so he'll be fine. But I think those guys who pit the first lap, I think that's what they're able to do. Rodney Wofford in particular, he's the only driver I'd feel it's pretty close to it. Close to losing that lap, but well, not that lap, but losing out on fuel. But I think Those guys behind him are definitely no sweat going to make it, but anyone that's leading a charge, I think they're the only ones that I really am curious to see if they're going to make it on fuel or not.
Absolutely, we'll have to see whether fuel... I think fuel will not be possible. I don't think anyone's going to be able to make it to the halfway point of this motor race tonight. And the end of stage number 1, I just don't think it's possible, Austin. I think it's entirely impossible at this stage, as there goes right now the second down a lap, as well as all contact there nearly with the 72, and here they come. Actually, here's 3 of them. Dogs Jr. stays out. Wofford and Bartlett and Passini down pit road. We'll see anybody else come down. The second group stays out as well, so an early stop there by 3 of them.
Wow, you called it for sure. I was not expecting these guys to come down so soon to do that, but I think the 88, that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to try and stretch it. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, but especially with no help. But that's what these guys just came down to do. Fuel only for these guys, Wofford and Passini. And it looks like, yeah, Bartlett coming down just for fuel. And so they will be in the lead lap still. And so whenever lap 45 comes, they won't have to worry about that at all. So they come out of the pits just easy.
That's going to be a short stop. That was a very fast stop. They just splashed and dashed there, like you said, no tyres. So these guys just took about half a can there of fuel to get them this next couple of laps. Put themselves in a good position. They can go a little further, because this was a short stop, actually. This was only 15 laps, actually, after they went in. So they split this actual stint here in half equally. No, and they took a can.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. I had something in my chest there. But you know what this does, though?
It's called your ribcage.
But you know what this does? There's only 2 guys pushing, or there's only 1 guy pushing Jorgensen, who's a lap down. And there's still 4 people in that second group with about a little bit under 10 laps to go. Those guys put their heads together and start really working together. They might be able to get, you know, if they can make it on fuel. You know, that's a big if. But, you know, they're going to get a lot of time on Jorgensen right here. And I think that's going to be quite fun to see how it works out. If they get, I'll just have to see what their time is this time. And if they get more, if they get at least a second, then that'll be the big thing. So we'll see this time by. It goes from 6.6, so it goes larger. So probably not, but I was hoping.
Absolutely, as well. We'll see how this one does play. Keep our eyes on Merchant to go. Will they come in the next lap? Will they react to the change in strategy there by the cars of Passini, Bartlett, and Wofford? We'll have to see, of course. And they're trying to save fuel, according to Austin's saying here. Saving fuel. Brave choice. Yeah, they're sitting there behind the 61 car. Just drafting off him. That's an advantage they can take there, because rather than leading the race and being out front, they're in a spot where they can just hang back behind someone. They can lose a good bit of time, but they've got seconds to play with at this stage. It doesn't really matter if they lose a couple of seconds over the next few laps. Saving. I still don't think they'll save 3 laps though. Maybe 1 or 2. I still think they're going to have to come at some point.
They did go 1 lap longer than those guys up front, but as I'm seeing it, it's going to be close. Because remember, they got not only they have to make it to the stage, they have to make the lap around too. Or another one, depending on when that caution comes out. So to make it, let's just say it's 2 caution laps. The more it starts developing, the more I'm definitely on page with you. The fact that it's going to be really close. Of course, they're the drivers. They've done this before. The Merchant's a 2-time champion in this series, so wouldn't want to necessarily go against him because he's won a lot this week in a lot of other Speedway series. But it's possible that he's just trying to figure a way out to save fuel. But looks like the 88 lost his drafting partner, so
he's on his own now. That's really hurt him. Wow, Spencer Preek definitely bailed on him there. That's not going to be very pleasing for him. Just a good for a comment we had in the chat there by one of our viewers. Tandem drafting is allowed, it just doesn't work. This system we have and the way the draft model actually operates in these cars, it's just not a thing. You can't do it. It's not an advantage. You are faster in a pack of 4 than you are in a pair of 2.
Especially here, Rachel, because
absolutely.
They get tangled up, you know, on the left rear, which that's where you kind of want to be, so you can let your engine cool down too. That's one of the biggest things, is that these engines will also probably blow up pretty quickly with the amount of tape that these guys have on them. But once you also get someone in the left rear corner, you might send them around. So not really what you want to do, especially when, you know, there's a couple of teammates in these in this top 6 that definitely don't want to do that to each other. So just want to mention, despite the 88 not having a partner out there, he's still not getting gained on and pressured for his position, because they're saving so much right now for second place. They're saving fuel so much because the 90, I think Seth Merchant's going 193 behind him, and Jorgensen's still going 185. You know that 57 could go way faster with the amount of draft he's got.
Said he can, and here comes some of them into pit road, or one of them at least. That was the 61.
Right in front of him.
Yeah, that was the car that was pulling Demergent around, so they've lost their engine in this freight train here for your second lead group. And Jorgensen Jr. is dropping a lot of time to them. He'll be falling back very rapidly here as round them goes the 01 of Brown and the 77 of Preet. That's a big move there from those guys, just flying around this trio who are going to get boxed in here behind the slower written out a second. So that's going to be an easy one for them. Look at that, choo-choo, right past them on the outside. Past Hedrick, past Rittenau. My gosh, those two are absolutely crawling.
It just shows you how much they're saving too, I think. The fact that now the 57 and the 26 and company, they've got to go to the outside. It's not something that they'd prefer to do. But those two guys in front of them, they just are absolutely hauling the mail. They don't care about the fuel strategy. They're going to try and maybe get the 88 if they can. I think they're going to be 4 seconds behind him. So if it's just those two and they keep pushing, they just got 3 seconds on him by himself. This is going to be fun to watch here the next few laps.
Certainly is indeed. As wow, we'll see how this one does play. But Jorgensen Jr. is probably going to absolutely dose straight under the bus when they catch up to him here. We'll see how this does play out. But at the moment, it's just a little on the hectic side. Actually, there's a lot of grouping up here. Cars passing other cars. We might see what they did here. But
they're coming down pit road.
Yeah. Oh wow! Round goes 24. I think that was. Do we have a 24 in the field? No, it's not Glenn Hedrick.
Well, he hit the 46 coming into pit road.
That's it, 46. That's the one we were looking for, yeah. Hit the 46 car of Richard Reagan Jr., who got dumped him. That was...
Yeah.
he actually dumped the 26. Yeah, he dumped the 26. As they were coming to pit road. Daniel Holloway, he dumped Holloway. As you just get a replay there. Holloway slowed down too much. Into the back room goes Reagan Jr. Holloway goes wee bonk into the inside wall. Replay there for you. That's not good at all.
No, yeah, and you're definitely right. He slowed down too much, but he also made those left or those rear tires chatter a little bit, so the car was already upset as it was. So whenever he got a little bit of contact, that was just enough to send him right in the inside wall, which of course, well, that's kind of the worst situation that you can be with that driver. But what that does is it gives Seth the Merchant the lead, because it looks like the 88 came down to pit as well. So with Seth being 9 seconds in front of everybody, if he doesn't have a contest here, if he can save enough fuel to get to the end, he'll win the stage and not really have anything to worry about. But it looks like he's going quite a bit slower than he was earlier. He's going only 172 miles an hour right now. I mean, if he gets to the start-finish line, he's going to be a hero, but the next driver would be number 25 of Kyle Manger, and so... It's kind of
he's just coming off pit road himself.
Yeah, so the Merchant, I think, out of fuel. And is he going to Tony Stewart this thing? Is he going to come across the start-finish line?
He's going to, but it won't be enough, because this could actually be enough. Yeah, he has to make it right back. He's won the stage, but he has to get back to the pits. I don't think he can make it back to the pits.
Yeah, so...
they're waiting for the 10th place car to come across the line, and that's a long way back. That's Glenn Hedrick in the middle of the backstretch. He'll be passed. Has been passed by Rodney Warford there. Caution flag will fly, showing the leader as the one ahead. As they throw the caution, it will not be the Merchant, who has run out of fuel. He will not make it back to the start-finish line. He's staying as low as he can to make this as short as possible, but he is done.
The one thing I'm kind of curious about is when they do throw this caution flag here, which will be now-ish, I think.
He's going to have to get a tow.
Yeah, will he tow it, or will he be able to have someone push him?
He has to tow. He can't.
Yeah.
No one can push him. Not allowed.
Yeah, so that's... Where is he? Still in the backstretch going about 50 some miles an hour?
He's not making this. No one's made a lap at Daytona without power.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about...
we aren't entirely sure it's not allowed. It could be allowed. They might be able to call in, a squadron of fairies to push the car, but we aren't sure right now. I think he's going to have to tow, because he's now doing 44 miles an hour.
45.
If he's got his feet at the bottom, he's pedaling it. It could be possible, but I don't think he's going to get there.
Yep, he's got to also be careful the pacer car doesn't pass him because of the fact that...
Well, he's under the speed limit for pit road, but he's not going to actually get there, I don't think, because he drops down again, 37. He could inch his way up to pit road, but he won't make it to his box, that's for sure. He qualified in first. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah, pace car's going to pass him right here, so I think this is where he's supposed to be anyways. I'm not sure how this is all working out, but he's now a lap down, I'd say. Yeah, this is not exactly how you want it to go. So he's going to be 2 laps down. I mean, he's going only 28 miles an hour, so I think the best bet for him is to try and at least get as far as he can and then tow, because the closer you are to pit road, the less time it'll take for the tow to happen. But these guys are coming down pit road as we speak, so we'll keep an eye on DeMerchant. He actually just stopped the car, but these guys are coming down pit road. Looks like Rodney Wofford leads them down, Chris Bassini, Bartlett, and those 3 came down together earlier.
Certainly did, and well, he's down on pit road now. He's had to tow that car. He'll be there for a while, whilst he does tow, in fact, as he's got to wait, but Wofford there on pit road getting his service. He's won the stage now. Rodney Wofford, your stage winner there here at Daytona 07, but that's made things interesting.
But does Merchant get the points for
no?
Technically, since he had to.
He crossed the line. Yes, he was leading entering that lap, but it matters when the caution flies, not when the lap crosses. So as the caution flew, it was Wofford leading. Either way, folks, before we move on, we are going to go to our midway race break. As we cross the halfway point in tonight's race, let's take a look at that. Brought to you by iRacing, the leading online racing simulation developed from the beginning as a centralised racing and competition service. iRacing organises, hosts, officiates races on virtual tracks all around the world and in the fast-paced world of esports. iRacing is the one-stop shop for online racing with officially sanctioned racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws and more. Well, as we get to looking at that rundown, Rodney Wofford leading the way here at our halfway point. Chris Bassini in second place, Victor Bartlett in third, Glenn Hedrick in fourth place with Michael Koza Jr. in fifth.
In the 6th position is going to be Mark Jorgensen Jr., Travis Brown 7th, Richard Reagan Jr. will finish 8th, Kyle Manger finishes in the 9th position, and then, or not finishes, well, finishes the stage at least right now, and then Dan Harrington finds himself in 10th place after getting hit earlier.
He does indeed. 11th place tonight will be Daniel Holloway, the car that got bonked into the wall. Mike Schultz in 12th, so somehow recovered up to there. That's incredible for him. Rod Flagg in 13th. Gary Champion, Ricky Wall in 15th.
In the 16th position is going to be Scott Warren. Mike Thiel is in 17th. Robbie Lyons is in the 18th position. Ray Rittenauer the second is in 19th. Then you've got Chris Patton in 20th.
21st place tonight, Brandon Cruz Montevice, first car lap down, also out of gas, crawling his way to pit road. At least he doesn't have as far to go as Seth Merchant did. He might actually make this, although he's only doing 30 miles an hour here. Seth Merchant in the 57 down in 23rd place, 2 laps down now. That's absolutely crippled his race as Scott Fenstermacher in final place in 24th as DeMerchant comes off pit road, 2 laps down.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Montevice, has he made it yet? He's actually looking like he might actually make this. Let's get the Montevice cam on just to humiliate him in that LSRTV car. As he's crawling down pit road here. I think some of the crew are running along faster than he is. Behind the wall. But he could make this. We might see him make it in here. Pulls into the actual lane. Can Montevice glug his way here? I think he's definitely shuffling forwards in his seat to give himself some momentum in the car.
He's almost there. He's right.
He is almost there.
One more stall.
If he misses his box, he's screwed.
One more stall.
Don't miss your box. Don't miss your box. He's in. There we go. And his engine blows as he gets in. Oh no, he repaired the car. There we go. Montevice is out with a nice new car.
Yeah, he's going to have to get back to the field. I think he'll get his lap back eventually, you know, knowing how this situation works for him. But he was close to getting lapped. I think that's kind of a really big deal for him right there. But yeah, I think getting that repair is important.
But either way, thank you folks for, that was our quick look at our midway race break here at LSRTV. We got distracted by the 54 running out of fuel. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities available online, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. For a limited time, you can now visit iRacing.com/World of Outlaws and take advantage of some exclusive promo codes and get yourself on iRacing with a 1-year membership for half price, or simply give it a try with a 3-month membership for less than $5. That again is iRacing.com/World of Outlaws. Monsivais coming back on pit road now to actually get fuel and tyres after repairing his car. Skidding on, in fact, trying to keep himself ahead of the field. In fact, the field's actually doubling up now. We're going back to green flag racing this lap, so he's going to have to hurry his butt down there and get himself back to the pack. Lead your field with Glenn Hedrick, with Rodney Wofford, Bartlett and Passini and Holloway, your top 5 there. That'll be an interesting one to see how this goes back to green. And will the field now bunched up? Will we see an actual caution for the first time?
I think that we are definitely in the presence of having one. We're going to have, it looks like, a little bit over, so this is a 90-lap race. We're on lap 50, so we'll have 40 laps to go this time by. Can't do math out loud. But with everyone being bunched up and with guys still coming to the tail end of the field right now, Monsivais is in turn 1 right now. He's not going to catch this field, which I don't know if he cares or not. But there's still guys catching the field. I think the likelihood is definitely higher, and these guys know the end of the race is definitely on the line. Only thing is, one of the drivers is completely out of it 2 laps down.
Yes, now Seth the Merchant 2 laps down and out of this race for now, unless we get a caution. And he desperately needs one. Green flag back in the air. Big push by the Passini on the 7 of Wofford. Not so much by Bartlett on Hedrick. As this advantage middle line here, and nearly 3 wide already. Regan Jr. going to the outside, 3 wide off the start. That's a bold call. Not sure where he thought he'd pull that one for. I think he might have done, because I would not go 3 wide off the start here. That's some Carb Cup stuff going on right there. As it's the front 7 pushing hard already. Outside has got the powerhouse in the back there. The 88 of Jorgensen Jr. who stayed on the lead lap. No, yes he did. As he's pushing the outside farther and farther up there. Look at that. Wofford already nearly clear here of Hedrick.
Yeah, Jorgensen Jr. actually pushed Reagan out of the way, I think, on that restart. What that did was allowed him to get to the outside lane and push it super hard. And that's allowed Rodney Wofford to get clear and really clear of the 2 guys on the inside. Number 1 wants to go to the bottom. They both want to go to the bottom. They're not going to be quite there just yet. I think they'll have it here coming out of turn number 2, but a humongous push out of turn number 1 into turn number 2. I think those guys are going to have a really good lead, and they're ahead of a lot of other playoff drivers right now.
Certainly does, and Wofford clear. Passini trying to get clear as well here. He might just make it, but not in this corner. As they try and get themselves going once again, and wow, the laps are racking up here. We're already on lap 52, and it's getting a bit bunched up at the front. Be careful, boys. We don't want to see another caution already. That could be tragic for some of these cars. Wofford's still clear. He wants Passini to come with him, though. Teammate there wants to get him clear as well, and Hedrick's drafting them so hard. Oh, contact there. Brown hip check the 42 of Bartlett. That must have concerned Holloway, because he got on the microphone straight away there watching that. 3 cars broken up on the low side. They're still hanging there, but advantage here. We might see Passini clear Hedrick. I think he will. He does easily. Will they pull down? No, they're staying up there for now. As they slowly drift to the middle. Yeah, they've got that one nice and easy on lock.
Although I'll tell you, when saw that hip check, that was, at least in my eye, that looked extremely intentional by the zero opponent. It wasn't too bad, but I definitely saw that wheel jerk to the left and right back to the right. So well executed by the 01, and he's still in 3rd place. Still has a big push from the 88, and so that inside lane is all but dissipated away. Looks like the 21's by himself and has no push, knowing that there's a really big power force on this outside lane right now. Oh, he's gonna turn him!
Oh, he does. Huge wreck there at the front of your field. We'll get a replay very quickly for you there. And that was Jorgensen Jr. pushed this 01 too far. The 01 had to back off for Passini. He couldn't, and Passini gets turned hard into the wall at high speed. Jorgensen almost skips that one completely. Has an absolute cluster behind them. Wow, that was a lot of cars just got junked there. Bartlett takes out Warren. Rager Jr. gets a piece. And back across comes a 42 to finish off Warren, as we played Conkers there, and Holloway is toast. He's already damaged one car. That's probably him out of this race, as, well, Jorgensen couldn't see he needed to slow down. This is the one thing, you can only see the car in front of you, but Jorgensen's car looks absolutely fine, actually, after that Conker fest he caused.
Yeah.
Well, we guess we got that caution after a caution, didn't we?
Yeah, I didn't expect it, though, to be honest with you. They were running so clean, and Jorgensen gave him a push, and I am super surprised that Jorgensen didn't get any damage on that. I mean, maybe there's some that we can't see, but my gosh, that was insane that happened, and they were at the front. They had nothing to worry about. So, only thing is that one of the drivers was a playoff driver, the other one wasn't. So that'll be topic of conversation probably after the race.
Certainly will be. It's very, very interesting here how this one can happen. It's a tricky situation. Now we've had, of course, you know, we said if we had a green flag stop, we'd probably see none until we got our half-time caution. But now we've had that half-time caution and bunched up the field. Look what happens, and it has exactly done that.
Yeah, and with this mix-up, we're going to see people come down pit road as well. So I'll put that on hold for a second, as we're going to see just who's able to. Oh, looks like the 21 got a little sideways there, but I think this really helps out a lot of those guys who are laps down.
On board, we saw there from the 57. Yeah, that was a little bit hair-raising.
That's one of the guys in particular that
he dodged the whole thing.
Glenn Hendrick, he misses his box again.
Yeah, once again, he's got some issues there.
I don't want to keep putting spotlight on him, but find your box, man.
Yep. Oh, mistakes confirmed made.
Yeah, the good thing, though, is that he's only one of a few on down pit road, and he's going to still be behind Jorgensen Jr. and Rodney, so not a big deal. But somebody that is becoming a big deal right now, Rod Flag. He stayed out, and so he's going to take over the lead for the first time for the night.
Certainly is. It's getting a lot better at the moment as the race starts to heat up for you here on LSRTV for Superspeedway Cup. As, well, it's dodge and wrecking time as the race starts to pick up tempo. But this will take some laps off us. You know, we're not going to run this on time. This is definitely going to be a laps race with how fast the race has gone so far. But after this, we'll probably be on lap 60, so we're looking like 30 laps to go. One more stop after this.
Yeah, I think that as everyone comes down pit road and gets their service, or even if they don't, if they're able to save on this caution. This is the first time we've had a caution that's not been a stage, and if these guys are able to conserve, save fuel, it might be a one-stop race. But those guys came down pit road for sure, no doubt. It is a one-stop race for those fellas, but for everyone still out there, if they save enough, and I still hear engines on some of these guys, so I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if they're saving or not, but everyone out here in the front, they're going to try and save a lot, try and make sure that they only have one stop, but everyone who pit, they're going to be just fine.
Very much is. As, yeah, we're going to go to a quick commercial here on LSRTV, folks. Do not go away. We'll be right back before we go to green.
I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds, punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different. And the way you go about setting them up is a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey, man, you need to switch over to this. And when I did, I was like, oh, my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol, and then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps, and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Welcome back to LSRTV, ready to go back to green flag racing here on the track. As out front is Flag, Lyons, Wofford, Jorgensen Jr., Hedrick. So get ready for green with Reagan Jr., Cozy Jr., Moss Jr., Mike Schultz, Ricky Wall, and Spencer Preet, your top 10. American Ethanol green flag back in the air. There's a huge start by the bottom, and absolute terrible for the top as, well, Robbie Lyons was lying back on the throttle there as he got going. He just didn't move at all. Jorgensen Jr. couldn't move, and I think Austin's a bit annoyed with my puns again.
No, that was a good pun. I like that one. But I think something to really note right here is that the 7 of Rodney Wofford is still up here. He's been, I don't think he's been outside of 10.
That'd be a favorite.
Outside of second place all night. And he's going to get a huge push from the 49 on the outside. I mean, that was a huge push. That's not clear yet, but Rodney's kind of just dominated this race so far. And sometimes you say at a super speed track you're not really in charge of your own destiny, but he has been. I think he's really been there, and he got a little bit on the loose side, and you're going to go 3 wide for a moment. Looks like the 88 does not like the 49 being up there. So
I hope he wants to get through that.
Yeah, he wants to be gone.
Typical Jorgensen move there as he gets right in the back of the 7 of Wofford and gives him a kick in the pants. Wow, moving fast.
Didn't really expect that for sure, but it's going to bring him all the way back. I think 6th, 7th place right here, so he's going to maybe get a push from the 18 of Gary Champion right here, but he went from 3rd to way back there.
Yeah, look at this 18 and 7 pushing high on the top side there. Wofford on the bottom, so Wofford at the top, sorry, with Flag. Hedrick and Cozy Jr. on the bottom. That's shuffled things around. Cozy Jr. back up towards the start of competing position here at the front of this field.
And the top 5 really kind of start in the split away too. Something that we've seen multiple times tonight. It's just the front guys are just kind of getting going, getting away from everybody else. But that's kind of the top 4. You know, I think Michael Cozy, who is, you know, he is actually in this championship 6 right now.
Absolutely.
Taking it easy.
We might have just mocked the start there at 49 of Robbie Lyons, but did you actually know he actually drives for Premium Motorsports in the Camping World Truck Series? That's a real world racing driver there who got beat on the start by sim racers. This is how good these guys can be. I think it's his Flag loses speed and nearly gets dumped. Oh my god! Huge cluster at the front has problems. Strike, and we're going to have a caution flag here as Reagan Jr. goes for a flying loop, and once again, there goes the Merchant missing everything as we'll take a wind back to the start of this accident, which happened quite a way back. I don't know what the heck happened there to Flag, but Flag lost speed and he got dumped down, and Hedrick had nowhere to go, and it put the 18 up into the wall. The 18 hit the wall, got hit by Preet. Preet comes down, and the 18 hits the Reagan Jr. Everyone comes back up the track and carnage ensues. DeMerchant once again, we'll have a DeMerchant cam because DeMerchant appears to be dodging everything right now. He is, I think he's better at dodging things than Google can dodge paying tax. Oh no, he doesn't, because he hit the back of Bartlett pretty heavily, so that was wrong, no.
But he still has the repair, so he still dodged.
He does, so he's fine.
I'm really not sure what happened to Rod right there. I mean, he was going 195 and all
I think Rod fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, that or he ran out of fuel or something and just forgot to hover, but he... And the weirder thing is, why does he come right back up the track? It just... I mean, he does lose... You know, he just slams on the brakes and goes right back up the track. It's just really uncharacteristic of what you'd say for, I think...
That was a derpy one. I think flag. I think he must. Did he take fuel at last stop? Did he run out? We don't know. But Rod Flag just lost power all of a sudden. I have no idea.
Yeah, and he
honestly no idea.
I think he just said over the radio he ran out of fuel. So
wow. So he mustn't have taken fuel in any of those stops.
At least that's what
bad idea, Rod Flag.
Yeah, I'm getting bits and pieces from the radio, so that may not be it. But nonetheless, I mean, he's down pit road and. He's in a bad position right now.
Certainly is a very bad position, but that's changed things up a tiny little bit there as Rod Flag went full derper clock and just lost his speed, running out of fuel when you've had two cautions that close together and didn't take fuel at either of them. Must have been a mistake from his pit crew because that was a fairly big problem, but this changed our order now. Rodney Wofford, Mark Johnson Jr., Ricky Wall, Clinton Hedrick, Cozy Jr., Robbie Lyons has gotten through that one with no major drama in 6th place. Mikhail Manja, Regan Jr. is on pit road repairing. Mike's Fuel's on track with heavy damage. Coming off pit road there we have Monsivice with no front end of his car. His motor just popped, so Monsivice is out. One of our chase drivers out of the race here. 87's got damage, but he can't repair because he's already used that one. Schultz has damage, Monsivice has damage. Flag is towed and repairing. DeMerchant has not come down pit road yet, as far as I can tell. So he still has damage. I'm not sure if he's used his quick repair some other time. Oh, he ran out of fuel and towed? No, he was okay there, just fuel. So he's coming down pit road now to service. Everybody else is lapped down. We've really shaken this one up. Pretty much every car here is damaged. Oh, apparently Cisco's saying hashtag modified. Yeah, just rip the hood off, rip the fenders off, just run it as a modified. Screw it. It's, you know, Bristol, baby.
The only one who hasn't had damage is Wofford. And maybe
yeah, pretty much.
We don't know. We don't really know.
Jr. looks fine.
Yeah.
Wofford is pretty much fine. So 2-car race.
And then you if you look at Ricky Wall, I mean his car looks pristine as well. Don't know if he's actually had an accident yet, but his car looks pristine as well. I think the 21 he does probably have some damage. Yeah, he has some pretty good front end damage, but yeah, it's those two, and then the number 2 who's coming down to, for a pit stop. Unsure why, but he wants to come back down ever again. So maybe the 49 as well, Robbie Lyons, like we talked about. He got kind of messed up on the start there, and he looks like he's got a pristine car. Just it's really sad when you're looking through the field and you're like, okay, who actually has a good car? Right, we're gonna have to really search through. It's like finding a diamond in the rough right now.
It looks exactly like that. Michael Cozy Jr. looks to be okay from what we're being told. Manja looks okay. 49 looks like he could be all right. This has changed the entire dynamic.
And when you start to find a driver in front of you that's not as fast as the rest of them, you typically pitch them. And that's going to also create problems as well for anyone in the back who just went down pit road for their final time. Anyone else who has a good, clean race car starts to go throughout the gears on this restart, they might encounter someone who does not have the speed. And you can't see the front end of everybody's car. You can only see the back end. And the back end's a good parachute, but so is the front end. Just doesn't cut through the air as well. And I think it's more dangerous when you have front end damage and the guy behind you doesn't know it. You might actually run into them, spin them out here on this front straightaway, which is never good, of course. But really, this race is getting down about 25 laps here pretty soon.
Yeah, it certainly does, and we'll have to see how this one does play out. But we've changed the entire dynamic of this race, and it's going to be a very exciting one to see how it does play. The Merchant's got a new car. He's back on track. We're going to have about, I think, maybe 22 laps to the end. So I think if these guys want to really run this to the end of the race, they could actually come down pit road on the final lap of this caution, top that tank off, and they might actually make it to the end here. Oh no, 25 to go, Cisco's telling us, so everyone has to pit regardless, so stay out. If your name's Rob Flag, I'd recommend you pit for fuel this time.
Well, you could be like Seth the Merchant and just make it enough. Now, that's permitting we don't have a caution, and let's be honest here. With the way they're driving now, I'd say it's probably going to happen. But, you're that lucky soul. You just pit. I don't think anyone just pit this time. Maybe, looks like the Ray Rittenhour machine, he pit. I think Mike Thiel and Chris Bassini, he pit. So, if you pit this lap, you get around turns 1 and 2, you shut the engine off and coast to 3 and 4, and you're able to save during the green flag run, you might be able to make it the whole time. Who knows?
Absolutely. Well, this race is going to unfold in a very interesting way, I think, somehow, as things go forwards. But it's very tough to see if it'll actually play out the way we expect. These things never do. But we are running out of laps. 25 to go, and that could be over in no time.
Yeah, if this goes green the rest of the way, I think we're going to be expecting 2 types of situations. Definitely the guys up front pulling away, and then anybody who wants to try the fuel strategy, they're not going to be up there. They're going to be trying something completely different. So, green flag about to wave, and that pace car's about to go, and the 2 drivers have kind of controlled this race, the 7 and the 88. They're going to be starting up front.
Sunny is, and a good start by the low side again. Not so much. Rick and the 88 didn't get it going either. In fact, he has got a little bit of damage on his left front corner now. I look at it actually, so that's one to keep an eye on. He's damaged, so I'd be careful for him. We'll have to see how they play this, but top side's not got many cars. Low side has advantage, though, will be variable as a lot of these cars are a little bit dinged up as Wofford goes up to pull the 88, and with the front damage that might be neutralised. The 88 could be a great pusher.
Yeah, he's giving him a really good push right here. And with the numbers on his side, it looks like it's going to kind of work out here until they get more cars on the bottom, which that 46 is not going to be able to help. He's really damaged. Baker Jr. has been in another accident today, and so he might be able to go behind them. But look at Rod Flag, 1 lap down. Yeah, he's 1 lap down, but he's going to try and stay with everybody right here. And looks like he's going to be just a part of it, but nothing more than that. And so you do have that top side forming up, giving a good push, and I think Jorgensen Jr. is trying to get clear so he can push the 7 as much as he needs to. Definitely those two have bonded throughout this race and throughout the season, I think, to work together right here and really being a good thing. And look at the number 49, goes right around the 21, has a big pusher behind him. That's the 77 right there. And oh, look at Glenn Hendrick. He goes right back to the bottom and almost cuts the nose off the 2.
So he did. Team might need to get a new front bumper put on that car. So I think he lost his in that one as Hendrick moved down. 7 looking good. The 88's just vanished. He's back again. So looking like 3 wide here. Here we go. Here's where things get a bit busy. 3 wide. The middle line just can't keep going. They're going round them on both sides. 3 wide at Daytona 07 into the corner. This one's a little bit risky. Oh, 49 at the top. 49 holds it though, holds it high. He's losing ground. Drops it in front of Brown. Brown goes low. 82 picks up the 49 now, and Merchant rejoining this front group too.
I think the thinking for the 49 of Robbie was that if he's not there, he's not pushing.
He's getting bullied around. He's driving like he actually has to bring the vehicle back or pay for it, I think. A little bit of real-world tendencies coming in here. He's driving very defensively, whereas these guys are driving like they've got 15 cars back at the hauler.
Yeah, and that's what the 57 of Seth Merchant's been able to luckily do, is bring one car from the trailer, get it off, and be able to get back in the mix of things. You know, he had the pole, and he's going to try and get back up there in the thick of it. You know, he's right up here right now in the Energizer Target Chevrolet. And so the 57's back in the thick of it. I think we all knew it was going to happen again, but if he's able to get to the front, definitely look for it to be him versus Wofford, because those are the 2 drivers that have kind of been there all night. He goes down the bottom to try and push that lane, and the top's kind of been the place to be all night.
Has been for sure, and Hendrick on the low side here holding on, but it's Wofford and Jorgensen Jr. up there making some good ground. The 2 of Ricky Wall making a very strong showing for himself here, as 77 Cozy Jr. is hovering around there. The Merchant back up as well. So we have 3 cars from your playoffs in your top 5 right now. Flag is catching up. but I believe Flag is still down a lap, so he's holding with these guys. He should be able to get himself moved around if we get a caution.
You also need to really watch that 21 of Glenn Hedrick, because he's coming out the track just a little too much in the corners right now. He's coming up on the straightaway just a little bit too. Almost hit the 7 and its left rear in the corner that last lap, and that's not what you want to see if you're the 7 or anyone behind it. That's relatively close, because that would be everyone involved. I think that's why they're going out the track just a little bit more. Is there's a little bit more speed, a little bit more real estate for error on the bottom side, but 7 gets all the way around, and it was just really close between the 21 and the rest of them. So he's getting really close right now still too. It's really a little dicey here, but look at the 57 right now. Those 3 red cars on the outside, they're absolutely hauling and controlling this race right now, as just Merchant's done it once again, coming to the top 5 after being so far down.
So he is, as this one's really shaking up now, getting some really good fast racing here at the front. As Hedrick holding himself up there. The car of Johnson Jr., the 88, actually looks fine now, so I think it might have been some ghost damage on that car. He's still holding his speed just fine. Blocking Demergent there, stopping and going to the high side. Although I think Demergent might want to try 3 wide as Hedrick does his best to come up the track and hold on. Demergent looks to the outside, but he's just cooling his car off, I think. Across the line they'll come, and Hedrick really pushing up high on the draft there. Look at him running on the top of the track here on the front stretch. Running so high on this racetrack. Lap 72, we've got 18 laps to go, and this one is flying by time-wise.
Yeah, like I said, he's got to be careful here as he goes way too high up the track, and he gets right in the door of the 88, and the 88 says, if you're behind me, you can't do that. If you're in front of me, you can. And so that's exactly what they're going to do now. They're going to get right in front of the 21, and he's going to blow his engine. Oh, no.
Jorgensen Jr. pops his motor. That front damage might have been too much for him. Jorgensen Jr. out of this race. Hedrick just dodges him, but he hits the 57 of Demerchant in the process of avoiding him. Demerchant goes up the track, but looks to be fairly okay. They keep going, but it's only just. My gosh, that could have been a huge disaster.
Yeah, that's why he went down the track that quickly, and there was no communication over the radio of what was happening. I think he was really lucky it just happened. Was able to get down to the bottom, and sadly, it happened in front of the 21. I don't know. I thought he was slowing down on purpose in front of the 21 because he was upset with him, but then he just popped the motor. So that's going to change the way the 7's going to be driving the rest of this race, because he's had a lot of help in this race in order to stay at the front. And not that he hasn't done a lot on his own, because he definitely has. I think it's just going to be a little bit more difficult to get a win here with the guys behind him, especially with the way they've been racing. They've been racing on the top side, and that's just kind of been the place to beat. And I think when you're leading so much and doing such a dominant job, you definitely want to beat that guy. And so everyone behind them can try and do that.
Oh, for certain they are indeed, as it's single file this entire front group here. Everyone pushing super hard to keep this one going. Laps are running down though. 15 laps to go. Sorry, no, 16 laps to go, I should say, at the moment. And, well, that clock is running down fast. We know there's one more pit stop in everybody as Flag working his way to the front here. Might actually get himself waved around and back up to the lap if he can get in front of Wofford. We know he's got a fast car there, that 10, that Pontiac Grand Prix, so we'll see if Valvoline can do his job. Last week's winner, of course, Flag, has found his groove again.
Yeah, to be fair though, I think being right behind these leaders is a pretty smart idea. The fact that if they wreck, you can probably get around it, but I also find the concern of the fact that in this league you can just get your lap back if you just ride around and you're 1 lap down and you're a relatively close leader. So it's a little risky to be up there here, but bending happens and it still stays green. He's in the right spot, and I think it's kind of what he has to do right now as we're kind of coming to 16 laps to go. You're running for a championship, you've got to stay up there, and he's going to get 1 position if they can get around Jorgensen, so he'll be in the 15th position, but I think it's still a difficult thing. And here comes the 7 to come down pit road all by himself. I don't see anyone coming else coming down, so it's just the 7. Interesting
solo call there. Did Wofford not take fuel previously and was forced to come down on his own?
I'm not sure, but he does have 2 guys behind him, and it's the guys who've been with him the entire time. The number 1 of Piscini.
Oh, Piscini's come too.
Yeah, those guys are coming.
Yeah, that's not a bad call. Those guys can get off the road together. They'll keep speed up. They are teammates, let's not forget. Bartlett not so much, but the front 2 definitely are. And let's put Seth the Merchant back out front, and well, Rod Flag's only 2 spots off being back on the lead lap himself, racing his way back onto the lead lap, which will be incredible for him.
heck, he's just going to let everyone go down pit road, and since he's got a full tank of fuel, he'll be on the lead lap again. Only thing is he's probably going to come down pit road again, but that is now where we stand with those guys who are going to come down pit road early, and for those guys who are going to come down later and not waste the time coming down pit road. So we'll have to see if they eventually do come back down, but at this moment, looks like they're going to stay out.
Certainly does, and staying out is the call for now, but it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure. The strategy's still got plenty of time to actually go in this one, but we know most of them have to come for fuel. The 88 gets slow though, they come up on the 88 I should say, and wow, they just go straight round him. Wow, Jorgensen Jr. railroaded there as he tries to hold on.
Yeah, and the 88 and the 10 are fighting for position now, which is all really important to the 10 because he needs every point he can get to try not to have this be a devastating race for him in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, the 88 gives a big push to the 47 to the 57, and just like that, he's able to defend 15th position, which sounds like not such a big deal to him, but it is a big deal to the 10 of Rod Flack, because now he's going to have one less position that I thought he was going to get. I thought he was definitely going to get that with ease, but they kind of swarmed around the 88, slowed down a little bit. He was able to get the draft.
Certainly will do. And while the 2 dropping up on the high side, you'll lose some ground here. Fast coming up on 10 laps to go here. This has been an incredibly quick race tonight here at the Superspeedway Cup Series on LSRTV. It's coming to an interesting conclusion now, as it's looking like this will be a fight between DeMerchant, Cozy Jr., and possibly Rod Flack, unless we get another caution. Flack needs a caution at this point. He needs a caution. Unless he can make it to the end of fuel. I'm not sure when Flack last pitted, but he's a lap down, so you can't have enough. He wouldn't race himself back until he lapped by staying out, so Flack needs a caution desperately. Cozy Jr. could be in an absolutely vital position here to attack this one. He's in 2nd place overall behind Jorgensen Jr.
Yeah, right where he stands, I think it's a really big deal for him, especially for the fact that coming into this race, he was seated, I think he was seated last. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yes, he was seated last, 7 points behind Chris Bassini. And even if he doesn't win, even if he just gets in a top 5 position, he's going to really pull himself out of the small hole. There's 2 drivers who are laps down, and Montevise is multiple laps down. He's not coming back because he's 14 laps down. There's no way he can make that up at this point. But he's also got Rod Flack behind him. He's got Bassini well behind him. If he's able to save some fuel, he's the spoiler, and I think he's going to be the one to watch when this race comes down to the wire.
Absolutely, and that will be one thing we really have to keep an eye on, because this could really open up in some interesting ways. Like I say, we're talking about the chase drivers, but there are plenty of other guys in this field who could still win this. Travis Brown has been so fast. Hedrick as well. Manja and possibly even Lyons, he's up there now in this front group. Could be any of these guys.
Yeah, he's pushing the 25, that being Lyon. He's pushing 25 with Kyle Manger, who started the 21st position, has come up to the front, which obviously at a Superspeedway not such a big deal. But wow, the 25 of Manger, he almost spun out right there in turn 1, or at least that's the way it looked to me. But they're trying the high side, and 25 has a lot of right rear damage and maybe even some left rear damage. And I'd say that they're going faster than anybody else right now, because they are actually they're catching this front group right here as we speak. So trying the outside lane, they're trying to get as much. Maybe they're trying to get someone else to go up there with them, and then they'll have a lot more speed. The outside's kind of been where it's been in the lane all night. And with a little bit of separation between the 25 and 49, looks like they're going to stall out just a little bit. But right here, watch these two. They might be coming to the front.
They certainly could be. This is one we'll have to keep our eyes on in terms of how it's going, but they are making their way forwards. That'll be a definite factor of interest as this one does wind down. Into our final 10 laps here, 9 laps left on the clock as we come through this one. And not looking like enough time for Flag to get himself back in the lead lap. We need a caution the next 3 laps. Unless this one will end in the caution. No, 4. No, in the next 4 laps. And then we go back to green for a lap. 4 laps, they can have a caution in, and then it's over. Once we get within 5 to go, we're done.
Oh!
This thing gets a caution.
Ross Wofford just fell out of the server.
Oh. Did? Rodney Wofford's gone. Oh my gosh, Rodney Wofford is gone. DeMerchant is leading the way. But Wofford had pitted, so he was actually further back. Wofford wasn't in a position to win, really, but yeah, this is a definite change-up.
Yeah, he's going to lose all those positions to anyone else who is a lap down. And if, you know, it did go all the way, and let's say it is, these guys do bust on Phil, he would have been in the position to win the race. Oh, boy, it's not good. He's coming back into the server right now, but it's too late. All the damage is already done.
My gosh, that's a huge letdown for him.
Yeah,
absolutely huge letdown.
Race favorite right there.
Yeah, he really was. Surprised at that.
Look at Lyons right there in the 49. Look at him in the 49. You got the lead now, and everyone else looks like they just pit.
Yeah, they did. 57's down, 77's down, 01's down, 25 is down, 2 are on pit road as well. Here comes the leaders into your pit road now for their last stop. 5 to go. This will be fuel only, I'm going to guess. We'll watch the stop here of the Merchant, looking like he's our race favorite right now. Into his box, no tires, gas only. The Merchant gets on and off pit road quick. That's it.
Yeah, and when you're looking at these guys coming off pit road. Yeah, when you're looking at these guys coming off pit road, the Merchant right now, he actually bobbled quite a bit coming off the pit road, and the guys behind him were quite slower. So that might come to play as well to see exactly what happens. Of course, he also let some guys catch up to him. But look at Glenn Hedrick in the number 21 machine. He's going to be catching the number 2, and he might use him as a draft partner here because he came down pit road by himself earlier. So only about 3 drivers really out there left from earlier. Robbie Lyon being the driver to push the 88, who's now back on the lead lap technically, and looks like the 82 of Dan Harrington, who's multiple laps down, is there as well. But the leader right now, and he's kind of by himself, 32 seconds in front of everyone else. Oh, there it goes.
He does indeed, and wow, that's going to change things up a tad as we see what's happening at a lot of cars hitting pit road now that weren't in this last lap, as Lyons and Thiel in for their stops, as Reagan Jr. just leaves, the Merchant coming back along the backstretch here will inherit this lead again. It's him and Cozy Jr. They're in a fantastic spot to battle this one out, and I've got to say, if they come to the line in this order, got to have money here on the 77, because he's in a fantastic position to slingshot past and take a win.
And no one's behind him to push, but that means no one's also there to spoil it if it comes to the wire. So 5 laps to go this time by. You're looking at Robbie Lyons. Where is he? Where is he? He's in turns 1 and 2 right now. Coming in off the straightaway, but these guys are in 1 right now. He's coming off the corner in turn number 2. He has a huge advantage to get up to speed, and he will be a factor, I will say, in this one because of the fact these guys are so far back. He just hit the bus stop of the road course. Now they're hitting the bus stop of the road course, so that big lead for him. He doesn't have the draft, but he's only got a few more laps to make it worth.
He does. That could be an interesting call, actually. Yeah, he's out front of them. That could be very interesting. I'm not sure the lap time is right now, as they're just coming out of the corner. No, he's not got this. They're far too close. They'll be on him in a lap or 2. He will definitely be passed before the end of this one. Robbie Lyons cannot make this last out front unless he finds a way to hook onto the front of this train and stay ahead of them.
That's what I'm thinking. He's going to be probably making that car a little bit wide on the bottom, so they have to go around him, and then he might be able to latch on here to somebody. Now they're going pretty fast here, and they might not be able to. Oh, 25's going to hook them. 25's going to hook them with them, though. So, and then Travis Brown. Travis Brown's going to be on the outside. They're just going to be 3 at 2. They'll catch back up.
This could make things interesting in our final couple of laps, as he's up to speed now. He's with them, so 49 cars actually in this with these guys, and time to go racing here. Wow, this could make things interesting. Robbie Lyons is in contention here. Campy World truck driver for Premium Motorsports actually in the line for this one. We're going to have some definite race aggression when it comes to actually getting up here and battling these guys for the win as they're catching up now. Will they go use that momentum to go around them? That would be an absolute shake-up for 2 of our chase drivers.
Yeah, this is his first race this season, it looks like, as I'm looking at the full roster right now. So, first race here, and doing as well as he is. Obviously, probably has a lot of time in the sim and has a little bit of experience, of course, in a real race car as well.
Just a tad.
Just a tad, of course. But this would be really, really cool to see. as this race is developing. We're going to have 2 laps to go at the start-finish line, and each lap he gets into a more prime position to make it happen. And don't forget about those 2 guys who are, you know, in the championship, the Merchant and Cozy. Cozy looks to go up the track. He was going to try and make a move, but
not yet. Too late, too soon. Far too soon. Huh? I wouldn't even attempt to move yet. I would stay in place behind him until almost the last lap, and then start to make you move, and hope the rest of them come with you, because right now the Merchants are in the crosshairs of these guys. Just aren't quite close enough yet. They're trying to close in. They need to be a little closer, break that air bubble, and be in a position to push him. Now might be the time to actually get out there and get alongside and get some cars coming up and helping you and start to move alongside. But they haven't done it yet, and the Merchant's got to feel the pressure.
Yeah, what a story would be for him to do what he did, to try and win that first stage, run out of fuel, then come right back up to the front. 1 lap to go here. Yeah, 1 lap to go right here.
Final lap now of this final, well, number 17 round here of the Super Speedway Cup Series. I muddled my words. Seth the Merchant out front, Michael Cozy Jr., 2 playoff drivers are on it, as here he goes, making a move. Cozy Jr. to the outside, 49 car. Where does he go? He goes low. Oh my gosh, he's going to push 57. Travis Brown to the top, not in time though. 49, 7 drops back. He's going to lose his speed here. This might not be enough for him. There's a car up high. Can he get a run back here? Can he get to the line? Here comes Travis Brown. Will he push him in time? Bumper cars as they go across, and Seth the Merchant wins it here in round 17. What a move there by the Merchant. Great racing from him. Second place for Cozy Jr. just. Robbie Lyons in his first race in the series, called up from DXT, the development series here for Super Speedway Cup Series. First race called up to the Big Boys League, and he comes home in 3rd place. That's a cracking result.
I bet you that 49 was just trying to get the position, because if he went up top, he wouldn't have gained that much of a position. I think he was, you know, looking to get 2nd place, because I think the lead was just too much for him. And whichever lane he picked was going to win. I think that's the driver who you are at that point. That's what Lyons was. Whoever he pushed was going to win that race, and so picked Seth Merchant to push and win into the race. And sometimes you're just that lucky driver, I think, at the end of the day. But Seth the Merchant sweeps the race by getting the pole and winning the race.
Certainly did. Fantastic one there for the Merchant. Pole to the win, and he ran out of fuel getting to the end of our first stage. What a recovery drive from Seth the Merchant. Fantastic racing. Well, without further ado, we're going to run through your post-race results here at the Super Speedway Cup Series. Of course, Seth the Merchant, your winner here today, coming home with the win. Fantastic position for him in the championship, as Cozy Jr. comes home 2nd, Robbie Lyons in 3rd, Travis Brown and Kyle Manger 6th place, Glenn Hedrick, Victor Bartlett in 7th, with Ricky Wall in 8th place, Bassini and Reagan Jr. in 10th.
Mike Schultz finished in the 11th position with Ray Reitnauer Jr. Or 2nd. He finishes in the 12th position, last driver to finish on the lead lap. Then you've got Rod Flagg, first driver to finish on the off lap, and Dan Harrington, Gary Champion, that's 14th and 15th. Then Mike Dale finishes 16th. Rodney Wofford finishes 17th. Definitely a heartbreak for him of what happened. And Mark Jorgensen Jr. finishes 18th. Brandon Monsivais finishes 19th. Spencer Brake finishes 20th. Chris Patton 21st. Daniel Holloway 22nd. Scott Moore 23rd. And Scott Firstenmarker is 24th.
Certainly is, and we'll hopefully have a chance to chat to some of these guys in post-race coverage. We'll go to a quick commercial break. Stick with us. We'll have post-race chats in just a minute. Welcome back to Superspeedway Cup Series here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Well, we're in post-race coverage, and what a race we had tonight. Absolutely fantastic. We've just been reminded, actually, by Seth Merchant that he actually won that first stage, despite the fact he ran out of fuel coming to the line. He Tony Stewarted that thing, and we have him here right now. Seth Merchant, maximum points in this race. You got first place. You got the stage win. You led the most laps. You basically did everything and ran out of fuel. How does it feel?
Yeah, I saw right before that stage was coming up that pack in front of us, that 5, they all pitted, and I saw that I was only short by about half a lap, so I just went in save mode there and took a huge risk, but we won the stage, ran out of gas, went 2 laps down, and drove back up through the field, and just had a good pit stop there at the end with Cozy, Travis, and Robbie and Menger there, and it just all worked out. We were able to break away from the rest of the field and hold them off.
It certainly was, and it's certainly a great setting for yourself coming into the rest of the playoffs. Of course, many of the drivers in the playoffs scored very terribly in this one, so you've got to feel good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have probably, a 7-point lead over Cozy, so a little bit of a buffer there. And feel bad for Rodney. He had some internet issues there with like 10 to go and dropped out. Looking forward to the battle between him and this, and again, bad luck, but should be a good battle these last 2 races.
Certainly should be. Well, thanks for joining us. Of course, who makes it work for you guys on the 57 car?
I just got to thank 6-man, Kyle Menger and Robbie Lyons in this race for working with me and sticking with me there at the end. They got me that win when Cozy tried to pass.
That's why he stayed down instead of pushing Cozy Jr. Well, thank you for joining us, Seth, and congratulations on today's win. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next, Austin standing by with Michael Cozy Jr.
Yeah, caught up here with the number 77 machine of Michael Cozy Jr., who very close to the win here tonight, Michael. But all in all, you had an eventful night, and you get 2nd place. And going from 6th place in the points, you get a really good day to keep fighting for a championship here. Kind of tell us about how your race went there.
That is an interesting story from Michael Cozy Jr. Absolutely interesting. So we'll wait for him to become available again. And whilst we do, we'll quickly talk to Robbie Lyons. Came home today in 3rd. This was your call-up, Robbie, from the DXT series, the supporter series for Superspeedway Cup Series. And yeah, your first race with the big boys. And you bring it home in 3rd. Nice work.
Thank you very much. I tell you, it's only, I think even the B race that I ran was only my 2nd race with the league. And I think we finished 4th there. And then to come over here and back it up with a 3rd, it was a tight finish with Michael there. Actually thought he was closer on my door than he was, so I kind of went to the apron there, and I think that's what lost me the 2nd spot there. But it was a great race. I actually didn't even use my fast repair, so played it smart. Yeah. Played it smart, and I was going to play the fuel game there. I actually went a lap longer than the guys that were up front, and trying to stretch. If I could have made it 1 more lap, I think I could have made it to the white flag, and hope that they didn't catch me there. But clean finish. Congrats to Seth.
Certainly was, and we believe you have a little. Don't you say your 2nd race in this series in the support? We believe you do have a little bit of prior experience, though.
Yes, I do, and made my first Camping World Truck Series debut, or obviously first in debut, first race at Phoenix this past month, then ran at Homestead, and actually first place that I'm going to announce it, I guess, but I'll be in the 15 truck for Premium Motorsports at Daytona in February.
Awesome news. Congratulations. You heard it here first for English. You heard it here first, folks. Robbie Lyons in the 15, starting at Daytona this January. So, yeah, it is January. No, it's February. Sorry, I'm thinking IMSA. Sorry, I'm thinking IMSA with the 24. Excuse me. It's late o'clock here in the morning. It's 3:41 in the morning here in England. But who makes it work for you guys in the 49?
Well, you know, everybody in the 6-man team speak, Seth, Kyle, you know, the 3 of us really made it work there, and I couldn't be happier to be working with them.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, Robbie Lyons. 49 car coming home today in 3rd place. And do we actually have Michael Cozy Jr.?
That's a good question. Am I hitting the right button?
We might actually have you now. Yeah. So Austin is standing by with Michael Cozy Jr.
Yeah, Michael, I just got the points up here, and for you, it's a really, really big night. It's going from 6th place to 2nd as I'm looking. You're 17 points behind now. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a margin, but not unobtainable. Seth has to make a couple mistakes between next couple weeks, and you've got to run some good races, of course. But tonight was one of those races that you needed to have. Talk to us about how it went for you.
Yeah, well, so I had my best qualifying run of the night, which is cool, or the entire season, which was great. And I've stayed in 5th for like the entire first run. Pit stops were good, and had some good help with my teammates. And I don't know, I just kind of sat around all night. It's been a while where I had a race where I didn't wreck at all. I don't even think I really hit anybody other than just, being pushed back and forth. But so that was great. Didn't use my reset. I just kind of sat around and had some clean pit stops and had some really good strategy there towards the end. And was working with Seth and Travis and a couple other guys. And man, it was really close. I was really hoping Robbie would go with me there towards the end. I didn't know what he was going to do, and I just made the best move I thought I thought was the best move at the time. It just didn't quite work out there at the end. But overall, really happy because I didn't have the most confidence coming in, but it was great to start off with a run like this. Even though I'm 17 points behind now to Seth, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't want to root for Seth to have any bad luck, but it would help.
Well, I'm looking at your statistics throughout the season. Half the races you're in the top 5, which is definitely really, really good. I don't think you've had really any terrible finishes, especially as of late. But you are in a really good position still compared to everyone else to make a stab in a run for it. Here is looks like you and Chris Bassini are only separated, well, almost separated by 10 points, which is quite a bit. So you've got a really you've got quite a good chance at getting it yourself, and really not a whole lot of guys behind you to really take a stab at you. So going the next couple races, what it's going to be like for you getting into those races?
Well, I don't know. Hopefully, if I miss all the problems, I'll be okay. But I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss. You either have a race like this, or you have a race where you just get caught up in all the problems. So yeah, I don't know. I just hopefully I get lucky. That's all really. I think I'm decent. I try to be as clean as possible. I know it doesn't happen all the time, but if I could have races like this where we can just kind of run green, I can just work my way through the pack and have some clean pit stops and be okay. That's probably where I'm my best is getting on and off pit road without making mistakes and getting back out on the track and saving a lot of time there. So more races like this, I think it'll be okay as long as Seth doesn't win all the other 2 of them.
Well, before we let you go, you had a really good night tonight. Who makes it happen for you on that number 77 machine?
Well, big thanks to Travis Brown. He was there with me most of the night, and unfortunately, I couldn't quite get into my rear bumper there coming the last couple of laps, but he was big tonight. He helped me get some stage points tonight. Shout out to my other teammate, Spencer Preet. He was in there. I know he had some issues tonight, and he was kind of spotting for us there towards the end. Another shout out to my other teammate, Harry Tiller. He couldn't make it tonight, so hopefully sleeping well, and hopefully he'll be here for the next round.
Thanks for giving us a moment of your time here, Michael. I'm going to send it back up to Rachel, or we'll have post-race festivities, I guess.
We certainly will, and the festivities will be short, folks. Do not forget you can join us same time next week for Superspeedway Cup Series round number 18. And, well, I've been Rachel Wife, and I've been joined by Austin Coop. As always, the lovely and talented Cisco Scaramuza in the broadcast booth. Thanks for joining us tonight here on LSRTV for Superspeedway Cup Series. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.